Hi guys, this is my Vanagon. I've currently stripped it all down to repaint it, which I've obviously finished now, and I'm currently in the process of putting everything back together. So, you know, as you can see, the roof linings going in and things like that. But today I'm going to be putting my windows back together, my quarter panel with all the rubbers, and putting the window back in, the glass. I struggled a little bit taking my quarter panel out. It's a little bit tricky. I'll show you why in a minute. I saw a video of a guy on YouTube that tried to take it out and he got stuck because of the bracket that's underneath, and he didn't take it out in his video, which wasn't helpful to me. And I couldn't find any videos out there. Maybe there is, but if not, I thought I will film myself putting it back in so I can show you how I did it. You know, I get all my information from YouTube, so it's always my go-to thing when I get stuck putting something back together or taking it apart. So yes, I thought I'd film myself and show you how I did it. So I'll move the camera in a minute and show you just inside the door. There's a few clips inside here that you just have to be careful about, and you know, you have your mechanisms inside the door for the window, so just be a little bit careful about that as well. Alright, so when I took my old quarter panel out, this is how I pulled it out. As you can see, completely all rusted through, completely shot. So I bought, here's my nice new bits. I bought this new quarter panel and the rubber's the old rubber. Let me just show you inside the door and then I'll put the camera back. So inside the door here you just have these little clips. They'll actually hold your scraper seals in, and there's a few brackets here. There's like a little hole that your A-frame or your quarter frame, I don't know what you call it, but that's what that clips to. So let me put the camera back. So now I bought these from the quarter panels and the seals, other than this one obviously, from Go Westy. I suppose there's lots of places you can buy them from, so you know, just have a look around. I did actually buy, just bear in mind with this, I bought a complete window kit because my window shook a lot. The felt strips were completely gone, the scrapers were all worn out. There's a lot of people showing you videos how to put scrapers in, so I'm not really going to focus on that because it's not too difficult once you kind of get your head in and have a look at it. But what I do have is, I have the chrome strips, which the original vans will obviously run on, or have in them. Now when you buy the seal kits, it's very important. I bought the seal that is not the chrome strip adaptable, or it doesn't go with the chrome strip, which is annoying. I didn't look into it properly, so that's completely my fault. But what I found is, I'll show you the other window. I've already done my passenger side window just to make sure that I could get it all back in. I used the same rubber, the non-chrome strip rubber. I just used a rubber mallet to bash it down a little bit. So there's a few areas like the middle that's not quite sat exactly how I want them to sit, but you know, it's it fitted fine, and I don't see the need to spend more money on buying a strip that's specially designed for the chrome trim. So as you can see, these have been a little bit bent from where I took it out. So first thing I'm going to do is just fit my chrome trim. And all of this just obviously clicks in. It's just a pressure system. So you just have to make sure you lock it in properly. The main thing to remember if you take these off is that try not to lose here. If I can slide it off. The little joiners. Now I put these down somewhere on the other window and I've lost one of them already, and you can buy them, but it's just frustrating if you have to, if you had them in the first place and you have to buy new parts. Okay, so what I've got also is just a rubber mallet. You know, you can use maybe a hammer and a block of wood if you want it, but I found this doesn't really mark. Okay, so my video cut out there, but I've got the chrome strip in, as you see. Just bashed it down with my mallet. Now what I've done also is I've got the quarter panel here and I've fitted the rubber to it. So the main thing to remember is there's some little cuts for the brackets that hold the window. These are a little bit tricky just to get in, but you can get them in. The main thing to remember is when you put this rubber into the frame is that it has to hook all the way around and inside of this frame, and that's so this sits nice and tight so that you can get it back into your the window slot. If this isn't lit all the way around properly, you'll find it just starts to peel itself off. This is my old rubber, so obviously when it was fitted, the same issue here, you can see it's just peeled back a little bit and it won't stay into position. Now I can maybe put a bit of super glue or something on that just to hold that in place, but what I'll do is I'll just use, I've got a screwdriver that's pretty blunt so I can't damage the rubber. I'll just get this into position and just force that down a little bit. So because I've been using the silicone spray that makes the rubber fit on properly, or fit on easier for my liking, you just get these dirty fingerprints around. It's not a problem, they'll all wipe off. It's just from the rubber and probably my dirty fingers. So the video I watched before, when the guy was trying to take out his quarter panel, he struggled because if you see on the bottom here, there's this bracket. Now this channel here, which is obviously the frame, sits inside, you know, reasonably snug in this gap. There's maybe only 1 or 2 mil space either side of it. But as you can see, there's no way that this huge bracket here on the side, which is what fixes it into the bottom of your door, excuse me, is going to come out of this slot. Now, he read the manual somewhere and it told him that you remove this panel out through, there's a gap around here, that you take it out through that. I can't see a way that this comes out. I could be completely wrong, obviously, but I can't see how you can squeeze it out that without either damaging this or potentially your door. He said maybe forcing the door open to get it through. Now again, this is a pretty big bracket, so forcing my door open that much to get this out is not something that I wanted to do, because I was worried that if I bow this panel, I wouldn't get it back in properly, and then my window wouldn't seal and the scraper wouldn't fit and I would run into a lot of issues. So I had a bit of a play with it, and I found a little trick to getting these in and out reasonably easy without doing all of that, which is what I'm going to show you now. So what I did is, if you have the window, obviously this sits about here. If you just face it down like this, then what you're trying to do is you just hook, because it's an L shape, you're hooking it under first before you try and rotate the window or the frame up inside of the window. So what you can do is, I just hook that in like that. Now, I'm going to just open the door a little bit, but just a little bit, just mainly so I don't scratch. I've got a few marks here, but it's going to be inside of the door, so you're not going to notice it. Got a few marks, but I don't want to scratch it too much. So I'm just going to put a little bit of pressure there, and as you can see, as I'm lifting up, I rotate it around, and there we go. You see, it just pops in nice and easily. And then what I can do is just work it down. I just open this a little bit because of those clips that I showed you earlier. And when you rotate it around like that, the top will fit into place. So I'm just working this towards the position that it's going to sit, which is obviously in the door here. Now, so what I'm going to do is just give it a little bit of a spray with some silicone. This is just going to help me to get it in properly. Again, you don't have to do this if you don't want to do this. Some people don't like to do it. It's certainly not going to damage your rubber. If anything, it lubricates it and keeps it nice and soft. I bought, obviously, the special silicone lubricant for rubber seals, so just make sure that you're using the right thing if you're going to do it. So now all I'm going to do is just start putting the rubber in. You see just at the bottom there where I said the rubber was peeling out a little bit, it's just starting to stick out, so I'll just use my screwdriver to poke that back in. So I'm moving the door frame in, making sure my seal on the inside and outside are going in nicely. So all I'm doing now is slowly just creeping it forward. I've kind of got the bottom seal to where it wants to sit. And then what I'll do is just keep moving it forward into that slot. Just making sure that my rubbers are going where they're supposed to be. Okay, so it's a little bit difficult, obviously not, I would normally stand there, but it will block your view a little bit. So I'm just going to double check that that's right before I give it a tap, otherwise I don't want to peel that rubber back anymore. Okay, so it's looking pretty good there, a few dirty fingerprints, but just on the top there, make sure that's in. Beautiful. So, now what I'm going to do, back to the mallet, just give it a little tap on the side there, and just here at the top. Now that should be sitting, other than the front corner here, pretty well. I'm just going to use this handle just to force that frame further forwards. Now it's looking pretty good, to be honest. Something's falling over. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll move the camera now just to show you where the locating screw is in the bottom, and in the top there is a hole that I'm pretty sure it's a pop rivet that came out of there. I'm not 100% sure what I took out of it, to be honest, but I know on the other side I put a pop rivet in it. If you don't have the tool to put a pop rivet, you might get away with a small screw or something like that. I'm just making sure the seals here are joined in properly. If these are flaring out too much, it's just going to run into a bit of an issue when you start running your scraper seals in. And again, I'm not going to focus too much on the scraper seals, because, you know, I'll put them in obviously while I'm filming, but you know, they're pretty straightforward. You know, and I have no experience with removing windows or rubbers, other than, you know, I've just started taking apart my van. I don't really have much experience, which you might be able to tell, with you know, with Vanagons or VWs. I just you know, anybody else which I'm assuming you are if you're watching this, is doing up their Vanagon, refurbing it. You know, the easy way is to pay somebody else to do it, which is the easy way, but it's not the cheap way. So if you're like me and can't afford all that money for somebody very well trained to do your Vanagon, you like to do it yourself. And like me, you know, I like getting my hands dirty and trying to do things myself. You know, I've tried, especially with this vehicle. This is the first vehicle I've refurbished, and with the VW, I've done as much work to it as possible on the van to save costs more than anything. And I think it's always nice when you do a bit of work on your own vehicle, because you just get to appreciate it that little bit more and all that time and effort that's gone into it. So what I'll do is I'll just show you the locating holes for the bracket. So as you can see, one here at the bottom that a screw goes into, and if I just go to the top, there's just a little hole there at the top of your door, and that's what I put the pop rivet in to hold the top of the frame solid. This quarter panel here. So what I'm about to do is put in my window scrapers, which are here, followed by I have an inner door felt, which comes pretty flat, but when you put it in, it squares it off like that. And then in my other bag here, which I bought as a kit, is the seal that goes up and around into here. So like I said before, I didn't buy the right scraper rubber on the outside. It's not the one with the chrome groove as they describe it. But if I just show you the other window that I did, just use a bit of a rubber mallet. As you can see, I have the chrome strip in. It seems to have sat pretty nice and flush into my chrome strip. It's maybe sat proud of the other scraper just a little bit, but I mean, they join up pretty nicely there. So I'm very happy with the result of that, and without spending the extra money. Does it sit better than the one made to, or specially designed to fit in there? I don't imagine it does. But am I going to spend another $100 on buying 2 new scrapers because I bought the wrong ones? If I don't have to, which the answer is no. So what I'm going to do is just, inside here are those clips that I told you about before and showed you, which are going to hook just under this long flat piece of your scraper rubber. So what I'm going to do is just put it on a bit of a 45 first, so I can locate those into that, locate those into the clips. Once I've made sure that I've got all those located, I'm then going to just start working this rubber down into the frame. This is where I bring back the mallet. As you can see, just starting to work its way down into the frame there. One that's not rotating properly. I suppose the answer is, would you need a rubber mallet to fit the seal that's specially designed for this? The safest answer is probably not, you know, but as you can see there, it's fit very nicely into the chrome trim. Seems nice and flat. Okay, so we've got our bottom scraper in. What I've done is just put the bolt quickly in the bottom of my quarter panel here, and a pop rivet in the top. No, I'm not going to show you how to pop rivet something. You know, if you know how to do it, you do. If not, I'm sure there's another YouTube video somewhere that you can do that. So what's next to fit would be my top felt channel here, and then also my inner scraper, which would then complete the window. What I've got to do first is fit the actual window glass itself. Now, the window is held in with 2 bolts, which let me show you. Into this here is your window mechanism. This obviously slides up and down when you rotate your handle, which for me, I have manual windows. If you have an automatic Vanagon, then great for you. You have a nicer van than me, but mine's still manual. I don't want to change it. You can buy the kits to change it, but it doesn't really interest me. It's not the end of the world to wind your window down. Anyway, so these 2 holes here and here is what the window glass, whereabouts is it? Here it is. So if you look on the bottom here, there's the same 2 brackets with the 2 bolt holes, the 2 welded nuts that you're going to bolt in. Now, as you can see, this hole here, it's kind of hidden behind this panel. So to begin with, I kind of lowered this down till I got it to this nice sweep and got my my socket in from the angle. And then what I realized is there's this nice little hole here. So if you'll wind your window all the way to the top, you can actually just put your socket straight through there and tighten that one. And on the other side, there's just, you can see it raises up here, so you can still get your socket in to do it. So what I'm going to do is, I'll show you how to fit the window. I only have this stand here to hold my phone to show you, but I showed you where to screw it in there, so you don't really need to see me tightening up a nut. But the main thing is how to get the window in. It's a little bit tricky. I couldn't find again a YouTube video to get the window in. On the other window that I did, I ended up I put all my rubber seals in and realised that of course it wouldn't go in now. So I ended up taking the rubber seals out. And it became a little bit of an issue. I read on one of the forum, I think it was samba.com, I may be saying that wrong, where somebody explained how to do it. So this is not obviously me finding out. You can read forums and things like this, but I always find YouTube videos nice and easy, and just it's always better when you can see something. In my eyes, you know, when I can see it, I can understand it a little bit better. So what I'm going to do first is just wind my window brackets about halfway, and I'm just using my Leatherman to do that because I've taken the handle off and it's somewhere else at the moment. If you put your handle back on, it's a lot easier. So, my glass. Okay, so as you can see, it's too big for the window now. Obviously it would fall out if it fit in pretty easily now. But in the back of this door, there's a big pocket here. I think there's a bracket, if you look inside, around about here, there's a square bracket that holds your window up against. But this whole space here is pretty hollow. So if I remember correctly, you drop your front corner down into the window. just got to be careful of my front scraper. There we go, So as you can see, you go in on a bit of an angle. My back corner is now dropped into that slot and is now resting on that block. It's about here. That allows me now to rotate this window up so it's inside the groove. Then what I'll do is just slide it forwards this way so I'm into my the front channel of this quarter panel. Now what I'm doing is just locating these screws. So I've got my wrong handle. And then just going to line those holes up of the welded nuts on the base of the window with, and the socket I'm using is a 10mm socket. I'm assuming they'll all be the same. If they're not, get whatever fits your window, obviously. So what I'm just doing is tightening up the bolt that's on this side, and then I will now roll the window up so I can get to that bolt through that little hole that I explained about earlier. Now it might be a little bit tricky since I do not have the winder on. See how I go. Wrong way. Now you can probably fit your inner felt before you do this. I find it easier just to fit it afterwards. It's not a big problem for me. I don't think it's too important if you do it first and back. So also, as you can see, the window rocks quite a lot now, so lining it up is something that I do afterwards. A little trick that I've used, so to get this nut bolt here through this hole into the window frame, as you can see when I put the bolt into my socket, I almost lose the whole bolt. Now if you have very shallow sockets, that would probably solve that issue, but it just means that I don't have a lot of thread sticking through to try and locate it. So on the floor I have a bit of leftover masking tape, just from where obviously I was painting, but anything will do. All I do is just roll it up into a little bit of a ball and put that down into my socket, and then now when I put my screw, as you can see, the whole thread sticking through. It just makes it that little bit easier for me to locate it. When you don't have a lot of thread sticking through, it's just not fun, Okay, so now that I have, and to move this window, all I'm doing is sticking my hand in the back. I'll show you quickly. Just sticking my hand in the back here and pushing that window up to get it nice and lined up, from it rocking forwards and backwards. So let me just put you back on my stand again. Sorry about all the clumsy filming. What I'm going to do is just rock this, make sure it's inside that channel, and then I'm just going to go and tighten up these nuts. Now, what you can also do is you can adjust this afterwards. You don't have to get it 100% right now. So now what I'm going to do is just lower the window down into the bottom here. What that clunking noise is, I haven't actually fitted my handle yet, as you can see, so it's just the inner bar. Now what you can do is go in and fit your inner top frame. Now on the rubber there's these two little flappy overlapping parts that will overlap this rubber here, so just make sure that you peel them off to one side before you put this rubber in. You want it as tied up to that quarter panel frame as possible. so you get a nice seal. Now I think this is a standard channel, but as you can see, it sits in pretty nicely, and it also sits into my chrome trim a lot nicer as well. Now, if you don't have the chrome trim, then your life's going to be so much easier. And you know, I could have taken my chrome trim out and it would have made my life a little bit easier, but you know, I like the look of the chrome trim, so I've decided to keep it in. Now this seal, as you can see, is too long, so it requires cutting. So what I would recommend is that you make sure that this is nice and tied up into here, which I'm just using the handle of my mallet. It's plastic, so it's not going to damage the rubber. If my camera will stay on 2 minutes, which it is, it's still filming, which is great news. If I cut this and realise that this top corner is not exactly in, what's going to happen is when I then knock it up later, it's just going to separate these seals and give you a not very nice and probably not very watertight seal either. So I just want to make sure it's nice up into those corners, and then what I'll do is get an eye off my scraper seal, which is here on the bottom, and that's where I can cut it. So what I've got is a pair of, they're almost like garden shears. You know, you could probably cut this with a pair of scissors or even a Stanley knife. But you know, it has a metal reinforcement in which helps it obviously grip to your window, which these little garden shears, they seem to cut the rubber and the metal nice and clean, and they get it all in one go, and then I'm not going to risk damaging anything. So what I want to do is, I'm going to cut this seal a little bit larger than what I need, maybe only 3 or 4 mil, and then I'll bend it out in the middle, force the bottom in, and then tap it in. And hopefully what that's going to do is just push the two seals together and get them nice and tight. But what we want them as tight as possible. If they're not tight, then potentially we haven't got a nice seal. Beautiful. So as you can see, I haven't chopped much off it, but just enough to get it on. Okay, so what I'm doing before I push that in, I'll fit my inner scraper, which is exactly the same as my outer one, like I explained before. I think that, you know, these scrapers are universal to inside or outside, so there's either a left-hand side or a right-hand side. Okay, so the only thing I haven't done yet is the felt trim here, which I've got in. I did it just a second ago as the camera was off, but I'll show you here. It's pretty. It's just a flat trim. It squares off, and all you do is it just sits inside that little channel like that. Not very difficult. All I do is my quarter panel here, if you can remember, comes this straight bar here comes down to about here. So what I do is I just push this felt strip down into the door so it's about level with the bottom of that frame, which means when my window is sliding up and down, it'll be touching felt strip the whole time. And then just push it again up into the door frame here at the top again. So when my window is up, it sits nice and up. Sits nice in that felt trim the whole time it's in the door. Now, if I just wind the window, as you can see, and that is, you can see here, just a little bit proud there because of the chrome trim, but again, nothing that I can't adjust with the mallet. These are, I just need to clean my chrome trims up again. I should have done this before I fitted the window, but I can do that afterwards. There's just these flappy bits here, like I said earlier, that I've just got to glue down. There's some at the top here as well. I don't know if you can see them, it's a bad angle. But that's got to go. But other than that, you know, I just have the gap here, which, if I remember where I put it, which is here, I just have the chrome joiners, like we said from before, the ones try not to lose if you're taking your window apart. Trust me, very important. They just push and pop on. I don't think I've got that properly. There, so that's the join, kind of makes that nice and tidy. I've just got to fit one more to my trim there, but that's it. You know, I obviously haven't fitted the glass in the quarter panel here, but it's just 2 screws. You can't really go wrong. You know, if you've broken that window, then you've done it wrong. That's pretty much the easiest way to to explain that. But other than that, as you can see, my window's sliding up and down. Nice and easy, sits in the channel, and that's a complete door, quarter panel, with seals, inner scraper, outer scraper. Again, very easy to do. Top fell. Just be, again, very careful about this cut when you make it. Very easy to get that wrong. And your corner. And that's it, guys. I hope this helped you. If there's any more questions that I maybe haven't gone over, please feel free to leave a comment. And I'll try and answer them to the best I can. Other than that, I really hope this helps and helps you get your glass and quarter frames in and out very easy, and new seals if you're fitting new seals. So awesome, guys, take it easy.